Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Splash Sisters. I'm Hana,
And I'm Mev.
and we're gonna start off with a fun fact today that I saw on Twitter the other day, and it's so weird. So Mikal Bridges, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Cameron Johnson have played more minutes on the Brooklyn Nets than Kyrie, KD, and Harden.
That's actually crazy to even think about. That the three stars, what could have been between them if they just stuck together and actually played games.
And literally, this trio of Dinwiddie, Bridges, and Johnson have only been Nets for like 20 or less games, which makes the stat even crazier. Like when that trade happened, like when Harden got traded, I remember Twitter was on fire. Like everyone was mad, everyone was hyped, everyone was like, "Wow, they're gonna win multiple championships," and they didn't even play them that much, which is crazy. There was always one was injured, the other ones were playing. Then the other one got injured, and then they just couldn't stand each other anymore. I can't believe I literally couldn't believe when Harden got traded though, because I thought that he like stick it out a little longer, but he just gave up on them, which sucks. Because if KD's foot was literally a little smaller, this all could have been so different, right?
Yeah, imagine Harden still on the Nets. I feel like they would have won by now. But what do you think would happen if the Sixers don't win? Do you think Harden's gone?
Yeah, I don't know why. I see a lot of weird rumors that he's gonna go back to the Rockets, but why would he do that to himself? He's literally playing with Joel Embiid, who is one of the best players in the league. And he himself is one of the best players in the league. He's top 15 around there. So why would he go back to the Rockets, who are one of, if not the worst team in the league? Like he's not going to help himself at all in like trying to compete for championships.
Because I feel like maybe he just knows that it might be over. Maybe not everyone's destined to win a championship.
Yeah, but he's still in his prime, not his peak or whatever, but he's still in his prime and he can still compete for championships. If he goes to the Rockets, he's just giving up in my opinion. Like why would you go pair up with Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. when you could be playing with Joel Embiid? Like what makes that? What sense is that, right?
Yeah, but that might be something down the line. I feel like LeBron too. He might go back to the Cavs.
I hope LeBron does go back to the Cavs.
I hope he goes back to the Cavs this year, as soon as his contract is over. That'd be crazy.
But that'd be better because the Cavs actually have potential, but the Rockets don't. I saw some like jersey swaps of Victor Wembanyama on the Rockets, and Jalen Green, KPJ, Sengun, and Harden, and I was like, Rockets fan.
That's low key better than a bunch of Harden's old teams. So
no, it's not because they're all young too. They're not gonna win a championship this early on. He needs to stay on the Sixers. They need to build. This year is different because there's like so many teams who could win this year. There's not a straightforward championship. Like people are not just they could just tell from the beginning that this person's gonna win. Like all those years, the Warriors had KD. Like everyone knew before the season started that who would win. But this is different. The Sixers could definitely get there. They're so good on both ends of the court, offensively, defensively. They have the MVP.
Stars. Yeah, Joel's definitely my MVP, and Harden, my most improved player. No, I'm kidding.
What?
That makes no sense.
But Lauri Markkanen is 100% getting most improved player.
Lauri Markkanen, I know. There's
because there's a lot of people who improved, like Jalen Brunson.
Some people are saying Shai Gilgeous.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who improved, like Shai, Brunson, but at the same time, they really didn't improve in the way Lauri did. Like Lauri was literally like when he was on the Bulls, barely played.
The Bulls, our coach stuck him in the corner and just said shoot. Lauri needs to have
like before this season, we didn't see any star potential in Lauri Markkanen. That's why his case is stronger than the rest. He's literally playing like an all-star.
It's like more about fit because he went to the Cavs too, and he didn't shine as much there.
He went from role player to all-star starter, which is the crazy thing. So I think really it will go to him. It should be unanimous. Like his stats are insane this year, like 25 points, I think, insane efficiency. He can play defense, rebound. He does everything. Like I love watching Lauri Markkanen play.
What do you think about the whole Mavs drama right now?
The Mavs are just so pathetic right now. I'm sorry, but it all started with Kyrie getting there. And obviously we all expected them to be good. We didn't expect this outcome. And this month, I'm pretty sure they're 4-8 this month. and they lost the last 2 straight games to the Hornets. Like, how do you lose to the Hornets, who are fighting for Victor Wembanyama? You lose 2 straight games.
They lost
to the
Grizzlies
Hornets
3 times too. They lost
And
to
the Grizzlies are good, but like, how do you lose to
you
lottery
don't lose
teams?
to a team. Yeah, but you don't lose to the team 3 times. Like, you have 3 chances.
The Celtics lost to the Knicks 3 times.
That's crazy. But for real, like, before the All-Star break, the Mavs were the 4th seed. I know they traded away their depth, but like,
do you think do you agree with people blaming Kyrie?
It depends, because like, you know, Kyrie's history of going to teams, like he went to the Celtics, you know what happened there, and then the Nets, you know what happened there. So it just, I know I've seen a lot of people say like he's like in the locker room
a team killer.
Yeah,
all these things that people are saying about him are unfair, because even though they did trade for Kyrie, you can't expect trading for Kyrie to fix all the other issues that they already had, and that they added on to their issues after trading away their second and third best players, and Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie.
I mean, but that's Kyrie Irving. He's like a super, like, borderline superstar. He should.
Yeah, but at the same time, outside of Luka and Kyrie, the team is just not good, in my opinion. They're just very, very mid.
It's a bad team, yes, but 2 superstars should be able to get them wins. Would you say their record was after the All-Star break? That's crazy.
Well, this month they're 4-8.
They should.
And they're out of the play-in. They're 3 games below .500, which is really bad.
You guys,
I feel bad for Luka, really bad. Remember Luka's comment? He said he's not having fun anymore or whatever.
See, like that, I'm not saying the record is entirely Kyrie's fault, but the fact that he's saying
that was definitely towards Kyrie too.
That was towards. You can't say that wasn't. Like, him saying he's not having fun anymore has nothing to do with the game. Honestly, it's just, I feel like that's what he feels like.
And this kind of sucks for Luka, because Kyrie's probably gonna leave in the off season, and what does that mean? That means that the Mavs will probably never get another All-Star level talent after this Kyrie thing. I doubt they ever get someone else to come play with Luka, and that means that Luka will definitely get unhappy. He's already unhappy. He probably won't want to play. Like, he wouldn't want to play his whole career now on this Mavs team. Like, he needs help. He doesn't want to keep playing with Maxi Kleber and Dwight Powell for the rest of his career. He wants to play with All-Stars and win championships.
Yeah, I think Kyrie is definitely gone, because the Mavs like swung and missed. Like, what's his name? Mark Cuban. And why would you, like, Kyrie has a choice to leave. So why would you get someone like Kyrie? They should have traded for someone else, because Kyrie's gonna leave.
I mean, I don't blame them for making that move, because even without Kyrie, they're still not going far. So at the same time, they still wanted they wanted to try something to make it or miss. You never know what's gonna happen. But if you trade for an All-Star, usually the outcome is good. That's why this is really unfortunate for Mavs fans.
Yeah, so that's where like people blame Kyrie, because most other superstars' talent, this probably would have worked more. I don't know.
And if you think about it, this NBA is different than the other NBA, because you know how Dirk stuck it out on the Mavs his whole career, despite all the shortcomings, except that one championship. But other than that, he could have left many times, but he didn't even think about it, because this NBA is so much less loyal than the other NBA, like past NBA. Exactly. That's why I feel like Luka's not going to stick it out with the Mavs. This is a different NBA. He's going to 100% leave, because he sees every other superstar has left their team except Lillard, Steph, Giannis. That's it. Everyone else is going to leave or has left already.
Is it just me, or I don't think Luka would leave. He's still young.
No, I 100% Luka would leave.
I don't think he's going to leave anytime soon. He's still not even in his prime. I mean, he is, but he has so much prime left if he doesn't get hurt. And he's not the type of player to get hurt often, so...
No, I feel like Luka is a winning player. He wants to win. And if they don't surround him with good players, like, you can't just put Kyrie on the team and say, yes, Kyrie, that's it, we're going to win. They need more than just Kyrie and Luka. Way more.
They definitely need some depth,
and they won't even be able to do it, because Kyrie is not staying on this team. Like, I would sell my kidney to the black market. Like, I would bet my kidney to the black market if he stays. If he leaves the Mavs, I know for a fact he will. There's no way he stays on the Mavs.
I mean, maybe he'll stay, like,
especially if they don't even make the playoffs. Like, come on.
But they're not even in a play-in spot right now. That's crazy how close the West is right now. They're not even in the play-in.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it's just not going to happen. But And like the Lakers don't even want D'Lo. So the Lakers don't even want Kyrie. They want to stick with D'Lo.
It's not that they don't want Kyrie. They just don't have like the room, like the cap space for Kyrie.
So where would Kyrie even go? So maybe there is a chance he stays with the Mavs. I don't know if they give him all that money he desires.
I feel like soon Kyrie's just gonna get like the Russell Westbrook treatment, just because like teams are gonna be like, oh, I don't want Kyrie. He's a cancer. Especially if it doesn't work out with the Mavs. Like, what contending team is gonna be like, I want Kyrie? They're just gonna assume that it's gonna go downhill.
Now the difference is Kyrie's still
I know,
a very good
like,
basketball player.
Reputation,
I feel like a lot of teams will want Kyrie. That's the difference between Russ. Russ is like obviously out of his prime. Kyrie is still gonna be like making teams better, but he has to be on a team that already has talent. He can't just go to a team and like carry it. He's not really a floor raiser. He's a ceiling raiser. That's why.
Yeah.
So if you put him on the Nuggets with Jokic, like stop. Like they're going to the finals. If you put him on this Celtics team, unironically, if you put him on the Celtics, they're probably gonna go to the finals. Yeah, just other teams you can make that case for. For me,
Even
I just
the Lakers, because LeBron
definitely if you
the
put him
only
on the
time
Lakers.
Kyrie was successful was with LeBron. So imagine him going back to the
Kyrie really needs to switch up the narrative. Like, I don't know. I mean, if he imagine him and LeBron win another championship together, that's gonna be like music in my ears. But it's probably not gonna happen unless the Mavs like sort of if the Mavs sort of convince Kyrie to stay in the offseason, give him a boatload of money, he'll probably stay. But they really do need to build around Luka and help him out a lot more. Because like I said, this NBA is not loyal. They will leave you if you don't help them. And did you see that the Blazers are shutting down Lillard for the rest of the season?
I saw that. Like, why would they do that? Why?
The Blazers are just so incompetent. They could have traded Lillard a while ago, got a boatload of first round picks for him, players for him, young players, and started rebuilding.
Because like they couldn't give him help,
Mm-hmm.
so might as well like
every year is the same. Every year is the same.
Like learn from like honestly, it's fun watching. It's so fun watching Lillard play, but seeing the same deja vu every single year, maybe it's time to switch it up. Like now it might be too late.
Yeah, since they're shutting him down, I don't know. Maybe they want to trade him. I don't. They're probably thinking about it. If we're being honest, they should really think about it. Because I think he doesn't want to be the one to say straight up trade me. He probably wants them to be like, oh, we're just gonna.
The NBA,
it's time for you to go, Dame. Thank you for everything you've done for us, but it's time for you to leave. Maybe that's what they're waiting for.
Like, this reminds me of like the whole DeMar DeRozan in Toronto situation. Like he did not obviously. It was so random. Like he obviously felt stabbed right in the back, and it was like maybe that's gonna happen to Dame. I mean, Dame.
I think the Blazers really need to start rebuilding. It's just the same show every year for them. It's just not
gonna happen. Like let it go.
I want to see Dame on a different team so bad. That would be the craziest thing to ever happen if Dame ever requests a trade. But no, he's way too loyal, I'm afraid. He's like one of the last loyal superstars left. Him, Curry, Giannis. But at the same time, Curry and Giannis, it's not as impressive, their loyalty, than Dame's. Like, Dame has been loyal to this team, even though year after year after year, they have not backed him up with anything. They're just they just put him on the court with bums. Go ahead, ball out.
Dame is just so comfortable with being a loser.
But it's not. But listen, it's not hard. But it's not hard for Curry to be loyal to the Warriors. They have a great front office. They always draft well. They put a great team around him for years and years, pretty much his whole career. How can you not be loyal? For Giannis, same thing. He won a championship 2021. He competes every year for a championship. Why would he not be loyal? But Dame, we all give you a pass. All NBA fans give you a pass. Don't be loyal anymore.
Dame needs to
go. What's the point?
And maybe even the Trailblazers, it's kind of funny if the Trailblazers let go of him before he lets go of them.
That's what I want to happen.
Crazy.
Like,
especially nowadays,
go get your first round draft picks. Give Dame to a team. Let him compete for championships. It's only fair to him to compete for championships. Like a talent like that. Come on, don't waste his prime. It's like his best year he's ever had this year, scoring wise. Like imagine him on a contender and he wins a championship.
Yeah. So enough about Dame, because like it's just like always the same conversation with Dame. Like, oh, will he stay? Will he go? Everyone knows the answer. But what about the Knicks? Like, you guys have been losing a little bit recently. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's like really bothering me because we obviously without Brunson, he's played some games, but he hasn't been 100%. He's also not played games. So we pretty much lost a lot recently. like we've only won like 3 or 4 of our last 10 games, which is really bad. Like coming closer and closer to playoff time, we need to be consistent. We need to get the most out of our guys. Randall needs to keep his cool because he got like 2 or 3 texts in a row, 3 games in a row or 2 games in a row, and yeah, it's just frustrating to watch because we really do have a good team. We have so many shot creators and scorers, and our offense is one of the best in the league. But defensively, yeah, we aren't um at the top of the pack defensively, but I feel like we do have a bunch of tough players too. And I feel like we could do good in the playoffs, but it all depends on Brunson. If he's 100%, I feel like we could go far, or we could make it out of the first round maybe, or give our first round matchup a really tough time. But yeah, I do have a lot of concerns, and I just really don't want it to be a repeat of the 2021 playoffs. I don't want us to only win one game in the playoffs. I feel like we are capable of winning a whole series.
I don't know that whole series.
Stop with your trolling. You know we're good.
You guys are good, but just like I just don't see, especially with like how you guys have been getting exposed recently. I just don't see how you guys could beat. Like, what seed are you right now?
The 5th.
Who's the 4th seed? The Cavs.
The Cavs.
You guys are not beating the Cavs. I'm sorry, but the Knicks.
Yeah, I'm not really confident. I'm not really confident in that matchup. But
my whole life.
I feel like nothing is impossible. I feel like we could make it really tough for them, too, especially our offense. But their defense is the number 1 defense in the league. That's what scares me. And I really don't want Randall meltdown in the playoffs because Twitter. I had to log off Twitter the last time we were in the playoffs because it was so bad. And yeah,
because like they have guys that can on their team that are better than every guy on your team. If you think about it, like you know that too.
No, we definitely have a better bench. Their core 4. They do not have a better bench.
They have so many people that can come off the bench.
They have Chetty Osman, Lamar Stevens, Karis LeVert. We have a better bench. Good. We have Josh Hart, Emmanuel Quickly, Isaiah Hardenstein.
At the same time,
all
it's
better.
The playoffs though, so like the starters are gonna play more.
But the thing is, the Cavs core 4. The Cavs core 4 is definitely better than our core 4, I guess. But I feel like we are deeper. But they are the number 1 defense in the league, so I hope they don't make it tough for us. But I feel like we are deeper. We have so many guys that could just come in and make a difference. So I do want us to win at least 2 games, 3 games in the first round. If we don't win, I won't be that upset because at least we're like trending upwards and we can still make a noise next year. If we get the Mavs first round draft pick, I'm so mad about the Mavs. If they miss the playoffs, then we don't get their pick this year. So they have to make the playoffs. Come on, Mavs, please.
Bro, that's
stop being
crazy.
poverty.
Like, they start off so strong and now like
they could end up if they get a top 10 pick.
Get over how they're the 11th seed right now. They're not making the playoffs. The West is
I can't with them. They have to start winning games.
There's only like 7 or 8 games left for each team. So I don't think the Mavs are gonna win most of those games, especially with like the momentum they're in like right now. If they don't make the playoffs,
they really lost 2 must-win games against the Hornets. I think that just shows itself that they probably are not making the playoffs. But if we're being honest, we all want the Mavs in the playoffs just for the entertainment factor.
I honestly agree. Like I want to see Kyrie and Luka go off. Like we saw what Luka did almost by himself last year. Imagine 2 big stars.
And obviously the Mavs last year were honestly better, but this year, obviously the Lakers and the Mavs, we want the Lakers and the Mavs in the playoffs from the play-in. Because those first round series are going to be so interesting. If it's the Lakers versus Grizzlies, if it's the Mavs versus Nuggets, that's going to be such entertaining hoops. Then if like the Pelicans without Zion were in the playoffs, like come on, we don't want to see that.
Yeah, Brandon Ingram's been going off though, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Pelicans.
I really hope Zion just comes back to the NBA in general. He's been since his rookie year, he's barely played, which is sad.
Yeah, I saw something that said he's played like 20% of the games that he could have played.
Oh man, but he's been an All-Star twice. That's what's impressive. That's how good he is.
He'd be like I feel like Zion, if he becomes like unable to play like for the rest of his career, like the rate he's going at, that's gonna be like the saddest like injury story of all time. I don't know.
Definitely one of them. Definitely one of them
could be. Imagine how if he never got hurt at all up until this point. just crazy.
Can we talk about what happened in the game yesterday?
What?
Patrick Beverley.
My man Patrick Beverley, he literally, like, I obviously, like, LeBron's my favorite player of all time, but what he did, I cried. Like, that was so disrespectful. He's so lucky he's on my team. Because I would have talked so much slander if he wasn't. He's so disrespectful. Patrick Beverley.
Pat Beverley would
like-
be. I saw someone say on Twitter, Pat Bev would be the coldest player of all time if he was good. Because just imagine if Curry was talking this shit. Imagine if Curry was talking this shit. LeBron was talking this
at
shit.
the same time, do you see
Giannis was talking this shit. It would be hilarious because they actually would back it up too. Like Pat Beverley scored an uncontested shot and did that too small gesture to LeBron James. I know he has his vengeance against the Lakers because they didn't give him a chance or whatever. They traded him, but yeah, if he like backed up and he was like a superstar with all the shit he talks is hilarious.
Yeah, but you don't really see good players doing that. Like he taunted Russ for like years just to be like relevant. That's why you see Dylan Brooks acting all big and bad because he wants to be relevant too. Like that's why players act like that. Like
I just wish a superstar would act like Dylan Brooks.
I wish like you don't. That's why you don't see superstars. Like they're more like, what's the word? Like respectable,
more humble.
Like, yeah. Like do you see Kawhi? Like nobody even talks shit to Kawhi because not to talk shit to Kawhi because he's an amazing player. But then you see all these
Kawhi would just does not give a fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, censor that. Kawhi just does not care. If we're being honest.
Yeah. So I even though Pat Bev is such a troll, I'm actually so happy the Bulls picked up Pat Bev.
You guys have been making some noise since Pat Bev.
Our whole season turned around, and I've never been happier, honestly, since the beginning of the year. In the beginning of the year, we were so bad. I still can't get over it. Like, I wish we just started off better because our record would be so much better right now. It would be so much better right now. We're 10-5. I don't know if you knew this, but we're 10-5 since the All-Star break. 10-5. That's one of the best records since the All-Star break. And I'm not gonna just give it up to like Pat Bev, but he definitely was a difference maker. Zach LaVine has been going off. He's averaging 29, 5 and 4 on 50, 40, 90.
Yeah, Zach LaVine is really underrated, not gonna lie to you.
Thank you. Finally, Hana's respecting Zach LaVine.
Just because Zach LaVine used to be a lot more popular. I feel like no one talks about Zach LaVine anymore.
It's only because like he got hurt last year and he wasn't as good. I mean, he was still putting up good numbers, but he got hurt last year and he was still an all-star last year. But then after the All-Star break, he got hurt. So people stopped talking about him. And then this year, in the beginning of the year, he was struggling a little bit. But now, after the All-Star break, even before the All-Star break, we went on like an 8-game losing streak. So that's why, like, when you're bad, nobody really talks about your team. Like, you don't hear anyone talking about the Orlando Magic besides Paolo or like the Pistons. I haven't heard a single word about the Pistons this whole entire year. I watched some of their games, but they're so bad. Like, you don't want to watch a Pistons game. Like, you don't want to watch these horrible teams.
But to be honest, the Pistons have a really good young team. And they don't even... Cade Cunningham hasn't even been playing.
I can't wait to see Cade and Ivy play. They're going to be, like, so good together.
They have Cade, Ivy, Duran, Wiseman, unironically. He's been so good since getting traded. It just shows that the Warriors just didn't know what to do with him. But he did have potential from the start.
But he's just putting up empty stats on a horrible team.
Empty stats? Are you serious?
He's putting up empty stats with no pressure. Obviously,
just because you're on a bad team and you put up good stats does not mean it's empty stats.
It is empty.
It's because it just shows that he's in a better situation for himself, which he can put up these numbers.
You just proved my point. He's in a better situation, a horrible team that he could put up empty stats on, but he can't do that because he's not.
So, but you got to keep that same energy for other bad teams if you think that people put up empty stats.
There's nobody on another bad team that is being great on that team that I can think of right now.
There's many. Like, first of all, Damian Lillard. Is that empty stats?
That's literally a whole different thing. Damian Lillard's a superstar, like, for years.
I don't believe in the empty stats narrative thing. I really don't.
I mean, I don't either. I said in this situation for Wiseman, he was on the G League in the Warriors, and then he goes and he's good.
Actually, I do believe in it because Evan Fournier was good on the Magic. He averaged 46% from 3 on the Celtics for a couple games. He went to the Knicks and terrorized us. And we gave him he has one of the worst contracts in the league. Doesn't even play. He gets paid to be a cheerleader. So I guess empty stats is true in some instances. But I feel like James Wiseman, you can't really say that for a young player. He finally got a chance to play. Like I feel like on the Warriors, he didn't really get a chance to play his play style or even get a chance in general. That's why I feel like that's definitely not empty stats.
What do you think about like the Lakers lost? Do you think that I feel like a lot of people are trying to see the light on the Lakers, that they're not as good as we thought they were. But at the same time, people are forgetting about LeBron, like postseason LeBron.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like the Lakers have to be the 7th seed because if they verse the Nuggets in the first round, they're probably going to lose just because it's hard for them to finally come together. Ever since that trade, they barely played together, everyone at once. So that's why they need to verse a team a little less superior than like the Nuggets, and that's the Grizzlies. I feel like they could definitely beat the Grizzlies. Then they'll get their rhythm going. Next round, they could probably win in the next round, and it'll just be up from there. But I feel like they really do need to at least be the 7th seed or get in the plan and then become the 7th seed.
Okay, so I asked my followers to give me some playoff predictions and we're going to react to them. So the first one is, I don't think any series in the first round of the West will be a sweep. One game will be won by all teams at minimum. The West is too deep this year, by J Bands 24. What do you think, Lana? I definitely agree with them because all the teams in the West are really good, especially the bottom teams and whoever makes the plan. Let's say the Wolves make the plan, they'll 100% win at least a game. The Lakers win. If the Lakers win the plan, they'll 100% win a game. Same with the Mavs and even the Pelicans. To be honest, I feel like they could all win a game. Even the Thunder too, if they make the playoffs. You know, like last playoffs, it was all blowouts. Like everyone was calling it the National Blowout Association. This year, I think it's going to be a lot better. I don't think there's going to be like any blowouts, maybe like one or two. But I think it's going to be a lot more competitive this year. Yeah, I agree with you. I can't wait for the playoffs. So another question. Well, actually, prediction. The East, the West is a lot deeper than the East. So I feel like outside of the top 5 teams in the East, it's really, really like bad. Because it's the Nets, the Bulls, the Hawks. We'll probably make the playoffs too. The Raptors maybe. Like they could all get swept in the first round. But I just don't see that happening in the West. Yeah, definitely the West is better than the East this year. I think everyone agrees with that. Another playoff prediction by Logical Wallen. Nuggets are first round exits. Chelsea Suns are the most. Well, Nuggets are the first round exits. What do you think about that? Okay, so I feel like the Nuggets are definitely not first round exits unless they burst the Lakers. I feel like the Lakers can make it really hard for them, especially defensively, because if you can guard Jokic well, which I think that Davis will, I feel like the rest of the Nuggets aren't that great. If we'll be honest, besides Murray and Gordon, I feel like they could definitely be. I feel like they could also get locked down by a bunch of players. So, yeah, and I feel like the Lakers have more star power, which will be harder to stop. But the Nuggets are really good. It's just you have to get 100% from all of the teammates. You know what you're gonna get from Jokic, but if everyone else, because when the Nuggets went on that losing streak or when they're losing all those games, everyone was playing really bad. Like KCP, he was shooting like 45% from 3, but during this 50 games, he was shooting like 25 or 30. I don't remember. But if that could definitely happen in the playoffs. We've seen the Nuggets players all stick down in the playoffs, so it could definitely happen. But if anyone could take the Nuggets out in the first round, it would probably be the Lakers. I don't see anyone else doing it. And then the same person said, Chelsea Suns are the most dangerous team in the West, and the Celtics will be in the finals again. Chelsea Suns, I do think are the best team in the West, and I don't think the Celtics are going to be in the finals again. I disagree. I think the Warriors are the best team and the most sturdy team in the West. The Warriors are not as good as they are last year. I feel like the Warriors, they just have more team chemistry. They have their own. They have the better system. They just are very, very scary. No, I'm taking the Suns. I'm taking the Lakers. I'm taking the Nuggets over the Warriors. That's gonna bite you really, really bad. I'm taking the Suns, Lakers, and Nuggets over the Warriors. The Warriors don't move me this year. Like they have a lot of issues defensively. Sometimes like they just have bad games. Like Draymond's not as good as he was last year. I mean, Clay and Curry are still. I feel like they need Andrew Wiggins back, like as soon as possible. Yeah, also Andrew Wiggins. Like if you don't get Andrew Wiggins back, it's wraps. Like, Andrew Wiggins is their second best player. They're gonna need him back. I feel like if they get Andrew Wiggins back, it's like not even a debate. There's no way they don't take the West this year. Yeah. So, and the Celtics, I don't think they're gonna make the finals again, just because I think the Sixers and the Bucks would beat them. I don't know. I just think I feel like the Celtics are definitely beating the Sixers. I just trust the Celtics more, especially in the playoffs, because I feel like they are a deeper team too. We just need to see Tatum play a lot better than he has been playing, and in the playoffs, especially his last playoffs wasn't that amazing, but I feel like he'll be fine. And Jalen Brown's been going crazy this year, and I feel like they'll be really good. And they also have a really good bench too. Yeah, it just depends if they'll get outplayed by Joel Embiid, one of the most dominant players in the league right now. It's not Embiid, the most dominant, and Harden. I feel like the Celtics are better. I feel like the Celtics are better on both ends before, and that's just key when it comes to matching up. What's the next thing? The next prediction is by Simon that he get matched up with the Celtics in round 1 and pull off an upset, then get the Sixers in round 2 and upset in 7 before getting beat by the Bucks in 5 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Jimmy averages 33, 7, 5 throughout the playoffs, and then you woke up. There is absolutely no way that's happening, but that's some fairy tale type of. Nobody's scared of the Heat. But the Heat are just bad. I'm sorry, but they're just bad. Like they're getting hot at the right moment, but they just have a 0% chance of making out the first round. It's just because like they don't have enough star power to beat teams with like Harden and Embiid, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, Giannis. Like they just have a lot of issues, especially outside of Jimmy and Bam. They're consistent. You know they're gonna try the hardest and play their best. But Hero, their second best player, you never know what hero you're gonna get, and he's been good this year, just really consistent. And he's gonna need to play his best in the playoffs, and maybe I feel like they can definitely give him a hard time. But also, Lowry is been underwhelming. He hasn't been his best, and he's just pretty much washed up at this point. And if they had Lowry if they had a good Lowry, I'd see it. But other than that, I feel like they don't really have that many good players. Also, like they have Martin. I like Martin just because he's good defensively, but I feel like you definitely need a lot more firepower to handle the Celtics. I mean, like Bubble Jimmy. I think that Bubble Jimmy. I mean, they could definitely make like what Eastern. I mean, I don't want to say Eastern Conference Finals. I really think that's far fetched, but definitely put up and fight in the second round. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like Jimmy Butler. I feel like he 100% will play amazing because he is a playoff fighter most of the time. But that's why I feel like they will give the Celtics a hard time, maybe to win 2 games. But they will not beat the Celtics. There's just no chance. But I like the hot take there. Just probably not going to happen. So the next prediction is by Elko now. I don't know if I said that right. But Lakers, Clippers, Western Conference Finals, and Boston, Milwaukee, Eastern Conference Finals, with the Lakers winning the championship. Oh man, if this happens, then I'll 100% believe that the NBA is scripted. The Lakers versus Celtics in 2023, man. Yeah, it's not even that. It's them. We'll finally be getting a Battle of LA that we've been anticipating for years. And then after that, Clippers versus Lakers. And then after that, they beat their historic rival in the finals and passing them a championship. Come on, that's like the most scripted thing I've ever heard. Like, everyone will just believe that the NBA works for LeBron at that point. Like, beating the Clippers. That's like the most beautiful. Yeah, that's the most beautiful thing. Like, the most beautiful outcome for Lakers fan. Like, winning in that way. It's just not like, it just looks so impossible right now. LeBron just came back from an injury. They're kind of struggling. They look like frauds. But they're just going to get their shit together, and I really think the Lakers are going to make a deep run. And just obliterate most of their competition on the way there. Yeah, and that's why I hope the Lakers are the 7th seed, because then they'll probably have a chance if they go against the Grizzlies. I feel like they will beat the Grizzlies. They will beat the Kings if they match up. But if they're the 8th seed, it's going to be really hard to beat the Nuggets. Because people forget what happened the last time AD and LeBron were both healthy in the playoffs. They got a championship. So, and now with low-key a better team, or imagine winning a championship as a 7 or 8 seed. That would be literally insane. That's something LeBron would do. If I had to bet on anyone in the league to do that, it would be LeBron James. No one else. LeBron James. Agreed. And that the next prediction is, I see so much of this. Like, Warriors are taking home another one. We just talked about this. I don't think so. She thinks so. I think so if they get Wiggins back, because I feel like they're just unstoppable if they get Wiggins back. There's just way too many teams that are better. It's just that. It's not hating. There's just a bunch of teams that are better. Oh, Warriors versus Bucks finals would be really interesting. It would be crazy to see Giannis just bulldoze through the Warriors team. I definitely think the Bucks would definitely beat the Warriors, but other than that, no other team in the East would beat the Warriors in the finals. I just don't see it happening. Are you okay? Is she being possessed by Warriors fans? Like, even Warriors fans don't think, though. I hate the Warriors, but it's just facts. I've learned to accept the facts. No, then you won't be as disappointed with whatever happens if you accept it from the beginning. No, even that's what people need to realize. Just accept it. No, I think you're just saying this to, like, if it happens just wrong, you'll be like, oh, I predicted this. But no, I just hate seeing people just write off the Warriors right now, because then it's gonna give their fans more because they're struggling. Then it's gonna give their road record. Do you see their road record? Do you see their road record this year? It's like 20-something and 5. Like, no, it's like 5 and 26. Or I know that's wrong, but they can't even win on the road, and you think the Warriors are gonna win? They just need home court advantage. And it doesn't matter. That's still not. Do you know how many games are gonna be away? And then they're going to lose momentum if they lose those and lose home games. So I'm not high on the Warriors this year. Like, I thought they would win last year. I was high on the last year, but this year, no. It's just different because this Warriors team, it's low-key the same as last year. It's not. They got Gary Payton back. He's not playing. Dante DiVincenzo, he came back yesterday. Dante DiVincenzo is basically Otto Porter, a way better Otto Porter. They basically have the same team. And if you think about it, Klay Thompson is better than he was last year. Like, a lot better. He's shooting amazing. He's shooting like over 40% from 3 on 4 made threes a game. And I don't even know how many attempts. But Klay's a lot better than he was last year, which is a huge factor to consider. Poole is also averaging his numbers a lot better than last year, but he is a little concerning at times. But Draymond needs to play like Draymond. I know sometimes he overthinks and just makes some really bad plays, but I feel like he'll be fine. The only thing that matters really is if they get Wiggins back. I feel like if they get Wiggins back, they'll 100% be the favorite team. Yeah, and they're good. Well, they're just. I think people underestimate. No, I think people underestimate like how much worse. Not how much worse, but how much better you look with your second best player, like Wiggins. Okay, next prediction. Someone said, low tier goals. Said, I think the Cavaliers make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I really don't think that's a bad take. Because other than the Bucks, I feel like the Cavs could definitely. I feel they could definitely beat the Celtics and the Sixers. I feel like they could. The thing is, it just depends on if Donovan Mitchell goes off. But he is a great playoff performer, so I think he can. Darius Garland, too, like, they complement each other so well. He is an amazing playmaker. And then Evan Mobley, he's having a monster season. Like, he's so good defensively. Yeah. They literally got the Twin Towers strictly. Jared Allen, you already know. If any team could defend Embiid, it would be this team. Like, in the East, it would be this. Yeah, God forbid they play each other and that Embiid goes home in the second round again. It's going to be crazy. Like, that could very well happen too. I don't know if that's the matchup right now. But I think the Cavs can honestly possibly beat the Celtics too. If the Celtics shit the bed. I don't know. Other than the Bucks, I feel like the Cavs definitely have a good chance. Yeah, so they could 100% make it to the Eastern Conference. The Cavs can beat any team that's not the Bucks. So they could literally be. It could literally be a Cavs versus Bucks Eastern Conference Finals. Who knows? That would not surprise me in the slightest. Because other than the Bucks, the other teams definitely have their own strengths and weaknesses, and we'll see it comes to play in the playoffs. The Bucks are just like, I don't even know how to explain them. They're just crazy good. They're deep. They have good veterans. They have Giannis. Giannis, that's the best player in the league. They have an all-star in Joe Holiday. Middleton started to play like himself. Brook Lopez is Defensive Player of the Year. He's a block machine. He's like a block machine who shoots threes. This team is like, it's gonna be really hard to game plan around them too. Yeah, so you can argue this team is better than the 2021 team. Like I feel like this team is better. Like I keep this team 100% of the time. Yeah, in my opinion, when we do our power rankings, I definitely have Bucks so long. I had them number 1 for a while, but yeah, they just got to stay healthy, and they probably won't win it all this year. Next, prediction. This year, Embiid finally gets the ring and wins Finals MVP, along with the regular season MVP by LaMelo Ball. That is like, I feel like that's an ideal for everyone who wants to see an underdog win, who wants to see that guy shine. That's like an ideal outcome. But me personally, I would love to see Embiid finally beat those second round allegations, the second loser allegations, by always being second place to Jokic. So I wouldn't mind if Embiid finally won MVP, and honestly, I just want to see at least Eastern Conference Finals. That would finally shut the haters up, and that would have already make him accomplish more than Jokic has with an MVP. I don't expect them to win if they go to the Eastern Conference Finals, but they should 100% put up a fight. But the Bucks are also the Bucks just have so much more firepower, but Sixers 100% have what it takes to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they do too. Like we already talked about that, but I'm just wondering, the narrative would change like completely, because Embiid literally said today, a report came out or like yesterday. It said like, oh, he's talking like about analytics and that they don't mean anything, and you already know what he's talking about. How Jokic has the best Raptor in the league. Yeah, because he obviously believes he's better, so he wants to prove it. So I think this would finally make him like show that he's just as good as Jokic, definitely. And people use the second round thing on Embiid, but they don't use it on Jokic. When Jokic hasn't been that great in the playoffs anymore. He has made his Western Conference Finals, I'll give you that. But Jokic blew a 3-1 lead at the playoffs where he doesn't usually go far. So if you're going to use that argument, use that on Jokic too. Yeah, and it's not even just about Jokic. Like every time someone talks about Embiid, they go Jokic this, Jokic that, or Jokic. If it's talking about Jokic, Embiid this, Embiid that. If we're just talking about Embiid, just seeing him succeed, finally proving all the haters wrong, finally going far in the playoffs, like that's just what every NBA fan wants to see. At least the not. I think a lot don't, because a lot of people don't like Philly fans at all. I know, but the worst fans in the league are definitely Lakers fans. Did you see it? The Lakers lost yesterday by like so much to the Bulls, and they were literally getting destroyed the whole game. And when the game was over, Lakers fans are harassing the Lakers players. Like Malik Beasley posting a birthday post for his son, all the comments were harassing him, and they were really bad. And I feel really bad for Lakers fans. He even had to post underneath the post itself and pinned it like, and I'm sorry about how I'm playing. I'm trying to get better myself. Blah 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 blah. He should not be having to put that underneath his son's birthday post. Vucevic sucks. Do you see Bulls fans wishing death on him, or like talking shit about him every game, or even if he plays good, the one game he plays bad, do you see people talking? Like Zach was struggling at the beginning of the year. Not a single Bulls fan was hating on him like that. Lakers fans are just on a different breed. They're definitely on a different level, especially with these like death jokes. I don't even think they're jokes to some of them. That's how scary it is. Yeah, just like, and people wonder why some Lakers players get worse when they start playing on the Lakers. It's because of pressure. Like you have a player like Austin Reeves who is good, and he's getting superstar coverage. He's got every media channel. He's getting talked about on daily shows. Literally a role player. It's crazy because on other teams, you don't get acknowledged. No one would know Austin Reeves if he was on the Pistons. He would have got 0 posts, 0 anything if he was on the Pistons. That's the power. And now they're trying to give him $1 million. Like, that's the power of playing with LeBron. Like, you can argue LeBron is the best agent for anyone. He gives people money. That's good. The refs do really bother me. The refs. Why was random? Why? No, because they give all Reeves like so many free throws. And they don't even give LeBron. They don't even give LeBron free throws. LeBron and AD were joking about his free throws. They were like, "Oh, must be nice." Like, how can you not give free throws to people who actually deserve that too? The refs know what they're doing. That's why the refs really, really bothered. They're really sus. Who's sus? Especially Scott Foster. When the Lakers are playing the Suns, D'Lo was joking around and he was like, Scott Foster is reffing all. Scott Foster. He knew the Lakers would win that game. That's really concerning. Scott is just like, I saw a thing where, I mean, even for CP3, doesn't CP3 lose like every game Scott Foster has ref? That's just not a coincidence. So many days recent years. Yeah, and he is retired. He is retired. Scott Foster is literally modern day Tim Donaghy. Oh, I saw that documentary. He's so corrupted. No one does anything about it. There was one season where Tim Donaghy was in his prime, and he called Scott Foster 134 times. 134 times. That's and the NBA, of course, the 100% one of all those calls were about some shady stuff. There's no way the NBA knows about this and he's still in the league. He probably has his own ref code right now that he has in like secretly. Yeah, like against the Lakers, this is why the Lakers refs be sus too, because Vucevic, like, okay, he was arguing with the refs, but they threw him out so quick, not even a chance or anything. That's disgusting. Like, he was talking back, but are they kids, like, to say, like, oh, don't talk back to me? Like, obviously grown men are gonna get mad if they get attacked for no reason. Like, I just hate refs sometimes. Like, if they give a ref a call, if they give a text for no reason, they should be fine. Just literally not fair. The refs shouldn't be allowed to just give. They shouldn't be allowed to just give text for no reason. The refs are really corrupt, and like we said, Scott Foster is modern day Tim Donaghy, and the refs should definitely get. I feel like every single day after a bunch of games, post-game interviews, you will always see a player or a coach saying something about the refs. Always complaining about the refs. And it's not a coincidence. Like, obviously, these refs would not do their job right. Yeah, I think there should be a Best Ref of the Year award that, like, all the players get to go on. And that will make all the refs stop bullshitting. And that will make them, like, be less rude and bad, and so they can maybe get Best Ref of the Year. They wouldn't even care. They need to get money. They need to get their money. And if you win Best Ref of the Year, you get a bonus. So I think that would switch it up a little bit. And then we'll see the refs, like, get their shit together, you know? Nobody wants to see text every 2 seconds. Or if there are one player getting, like, 30 free throws while other players are getting hacked at the rim and getting nothing. Like, be consistent, please. Yeah, like, they also, remember when they banned floppy? Like, or the type of move where if you, like, go into someone, they still call those. That should be an offensive foul. They did that for, like, a couple weeks. They don't call it. That's normal. Yeah, so I don't know. That was literally the only hope I had for refs. And then it's out the window now. We see these BS, and they always call flops too. Like, you know, when something is the most obvious flop ever, they will call it. Literally. What's the next prediction? We've been going about this. We just got so off topic there, but well, that concludes our segment. And thank you guys so much for watching. We were having so much fun recording this video for you guys. Comment yourself some predictions and we'll respond. And thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to all our channels, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all that. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next week.